Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're listening from. I wouldn't waste much of your time, but I'll make you one promise. If you listen to 15 minutes of this presentation, you will be able to manage any snail breed and become profitable in it. And you might be wondering, why can I make such claims? My name is Rexford Emmanuel, and I'm the team lead at AgroCycle. And AgroCycle deals majorly with the sales of snails, breeding, and we also sell formulated feeds and calcium supplements. But more importantly, we help people set up their farms across Nigeria, mainly greenhouses and large setups, because we teach you so well that all the intensive and all the small scale farms, you're able to run them and build it by yourself, in as much as to the point where you can guide your artisan on how to construct your own pen by yourselves. We provide you with as much dimensions as possible. Okay? So far, we have helped over 560 farmers, and this is just to be minimalist. And on the free interaction, we've taught way more than 10,000 individuals, and over 8,500 people follow us on our social media platforms just to learn snail farming. For me, I'm extremely passionate about teaching people snail farming and bringing people to the business. I'm showing them how to make money from it. Why? Because there is real wealth in snail farming. So by the end of this webinar, like I promised, 15 minutes. Okay? So if you stay to the end of this webinar, it means you've stayed past 15 minutes. And the question is, what are you likely going to be learning? Because I believe it's very important to value your time and not waste it for you. So let's run into it. First of all, you'll be learning the A to Z of snail farming, because this is an introduction. You'll be learning the different snail breeds or species. You would be learning the different housing structures that you'll be using. You'll also be learning who exactly can participate in snail farming. You'll be learning what are the benefits of snail farming. Why is it beneficial to you? We'll be talking about slime extraction. Then we'll be looking at the value chains, snail meat, snails, and the international market. How do I access the international market? How do I get access to it? And then after that, we'll take a detour and we'll look at the requirements for snail farming. What is required of me? Now, you know the benefits. Now we know this. What is required of me? And we'll be talking about setting up a snail farm on a budget. Yes, remember I told you that we help farmers set up their farms, but we teach farmers so well that they are able to set up their farm even without contacting us. It's that simple. Then we'll help you on wealth generation. How do you generate wealth? Is it something I do immediately? Does it take longer? What's the process like? Now, lastly, we'll teach you other ways to earn money from your farm, even if you don't have a farm. Like literally, even if you don't have a farm, or even if your farm is not matured, how do I start making money to sustain my farm? Now, why should you listen to me? Beautiful. Why should you listen to me? I think I said that. So why should you listen to me? I have over 4 years of experience. I think this should be my fifth year. Yeah, 4 years of experience. And to the right side was my farm when I started. I grew my farm to a point where I became the single largest snail farmer in Futo, and that is where I schooled. Okay, so I'm a petroleum engineer by profession, and by passion, I am a farmer and a snail farmer at that, an excellent farmer at that. I believe by now you must have heard my stories of moving from losing up to 2,000 snails to being able to grow my farm and building a community where we help farmers excel in snail farming. Now, so far, we procure and help farmers buy breeders. And on a monthly basis, we do between 3,000 to 4,500 snails, averaging 500 snails per farmer. And we do this because we understand marketing. We understand how to put out the benefits of snail farming to farmers. We understand how to teach people snail farming. And guess what? We understand how to help farmers sell their snails. Yes. And we do that effortlessly. We also help farmers sell the matured snails. Yes, and that's it. We also help connect people with local markets and the market outside the country. So we understand the dynamics of snail farming. I was interacting with one of the comments on the platform, and the individual said he has raised over 2,000 jumbo-sized snails and doesn't know where to sell it. And if you think about it, that is the problem of most farmers. That is the problem of most farmers. A lot of farmers don't know where to sell their snails. So we got online, we figured everything out, created a marketing campaign, and guess what? He's now exporting across Nigeria. So, but don't take my word for it. Let's get into it. So, reasons why it is difficult to start snail farming. Now, the most and the biggest reason why it is difficult to start snail farming or for you to excel in a snail business per se is because of lack of knowledge. The scripture says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And there is no better place to show how real this than in snail farming. Now, we have over 300 farmers currently in the community of practicing farmers. And I can tell you, I see what farmers who are even trained in the right process of doing snail farming, the mistakes that they make. How much more you that is jumping from one YouTube video to another YouTube video. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying that the information on the online is too scattered, it's too segregated. People bringing in their own concepts. You're not asking them which breed they are doing. You don't even have the opportunity to interact with them. So many concerns. So many people coming from different places with their ideas, and you're almost confused. The information online is not structured. The truth be said is everything you need to learn online is available. Everything you need to excel in snail farming is available online. Just that they are fragmented in different ways. And nobody comes out to tell you the truth about snail farming. Nobody comes out to tell you the truth. Now, the next difficulty you will be having is getting buyers. Okay? Now, truth be told, here is my philosophy. If people don't know that you have a business, then literally nobody will buy from you. If people don't know that you have a business, nobody will buy from you. And as simple as what I've said is, that is the solution to your problem of the difficulty of getting buyers. Simply, people don't know that you have enough snails. People don't know that you have snails. That is the reality. That is why people find it difficult to find buyers. Take poultry, for example. No matter how big the birds you raise or how well fed they are, if nobody knows that you have birds, you won't be able to sell them. That is just the simple truth. And it's the same in the Nigerian ecosystem when it comes to snail farming. Most snail farmers, I don't know if they feel like they are doing a business or they are doing something in secret. They don't want people to know. And all of a sudden, you produce big snails, you fed them, and you claim there is no market for it. Who knows? Who knows that you even do snails? Who? And this, it seems very easy, but having interacted with a very large amount of people, I can tell you that very few people even go the extra mile to post their farms. Oh, I've not gotten any results so far. I want to post it when I have gotten results. It doesn't work like that. Keep posting your farm. Make people know about it. Now, the next issue will be lack of finance to start up a farm. Yes, very big issue. Snail farming is not what they really paint it. It is time consuming. It is money consuming. It is capital intensive. Yes, it is capital intensive. You have to feed your snails, you have to formulate your own feed, and you have to provide them with calcium supplements. Even if you're sourcing them locally, it will still cost you a lot of money. Okay, so anybody that is telling you, oh, you can produce your snails in tires, I am not in that category. We are not in that class. This video will not help you. Sincerely, it will not help you. You cannot do much with what we are going to teach you here, because we are not talking to people who think like that. We understand there is a possibility that you can start from nothing and grow, but if you're going to do snail farming, you have to be financially capable to do it. You have to be financially capable to do it. It is not, oh, I pick snails in my compound. No. If you really want to do that, pick snails in your compound, go to the market, sell them, continue the process, iterate the process, do it over and over and over and over again. Buy from people that are coming to the market early. Go to the market very early. Buy from those bringing them from the bush. Sell them there. Build enough capital. If you want to build a farm, do it well. Now, the next challenge that people have in snail farming is patience and commitment to growing a sustainable business. No, people, the worst thing you would do is, oh, the economy is bad. I don't know how to. I'm trying to beat the economy. I'm looking for another source of income, and your mind is going to snail farming in it. No. You shouldn't. That shouldn't be the mindset that you use to come to snail farming. No, that's not the right mindset. If you want to do the business, then focus on do the business. The business of snail farming is different from snail farming itself. Okay, there's a business of snail farming and there's the snail farming itself. Now, the business of snail farming talks about the buying and selling process of snails, while the farming of snails is completely different. It means raising snails from baby snails to maturity, and we'll talk about it in the extent. Now, there are different types of maturity in snails. Now, there is what we call the sexual maturity, and there is what we call the physiological maturity. Now, most people, you are watching me now. I think we've gone 12 minutes, 3 minutes. We're watching me now. Most people, what they will do is they'll go to the farm, they'll look for all those big snails, and they will think that's the real snails. And I have this encounter all the time. When we supply farmers with breeders, they tell us, oh, they're very small. But the magic happens when they start laying crazy number of eggs. Oh, my snails are small and they're laying. No, they're not small and they're laying. They're just sexually matured. Sexual maturity is different from physiological maturity. Sexual maturity is simply that they are ready to produce offsprings, and physiological material is that they are ready for the market. They are two different things. Okay, now beautiful. So what is snail business? Okay, so what's snail farming? Snail farming is also known as heliciculture, and is the practice of raising snails for human consumption or for the purpose of other purposes. It involves creating a suitable environment for snails to thrive, managing their diet and reproduction, and ensuring proper care to produce healthy and marketable sizes. So you see what I'm telling you? There is no money making when you're doing the farming. It is all investment. That's why people mix it up. Okay, they don't tell you that there is a business side, and they don't tell you that there is an investment side. So you see, people they come online and tell you snail farming can make you a millionaire. Yes, it can. But do you understand that there are different sides to this thing? Do you understand that there is the business side and there is the money-making side? Okay? Sorry, there is the investment side and there's the money-making side. They don't tell you this. And that's why you have a lot of people, they think immediately I farm snails, I will become a millionaire. No. If you don't farm snails and you sell snails, you sell very large quantity of snails, you will still be a millionaire. That is just how it is. There's what we call structures of profit. Okay? The people that make the most money are those at the top. That's the people who are producing from their farm. They are the ones that make the highest margin. Okay? Now, the next set of people that make a reasonable amount of margin are those who buy from those people who produce, add value to it. Maybe they buy from people who produce the snails, then add value Adding value means like cleaning or washing and drying them and putting them out there. Okay? So if you do this, you will still make a lot of money. But imagine if you produce yourself, clean the snails, which means adding value to the snails, and selling them off. What happens? Think about what will happen. You're already making a lot of money, and that is where the snail farming business comes into place. Okay, so this is a process where entrepreneurs breed rare and harvest snails for sales in the food market, cosmetic industry as pets. They must consider factors like suitable habitat, feeding, pest control, market demand. So many things to consider. Now let's get into it. What are the systems of snail? What are the snail farming systems? Okay, because we'll cover everything. Everything we'll cover it. Don't worry, we'll cover everything. So now think about it. What are the snail farming systems that we have? We've talked about, I told you that by this time you should be able to manage any snail breeds. So let's talk about it. The intensive system. Now the intensive system is very, it's time demanding. It requires you to be there. It requires you to be there. So let's get into it. The intensive snail farming maximizes production in limited space by controlling environmental factors like temperature, humidity. It involves high density snail population, efficient feeding, and careful management to optimize growth and yield. Remember, high density. So there's what we call stocking density. Now, the stocking density for a standard pen. Now, the measurement for a standard pen is 3 feet by 5 feet pen. Now, when I mean 3 feet by 5 feet, I mean the length should be 5 feet, the width should be 3 feet. And note, all these things are internal measurements. Internal measurements. Please note, internal measurements. Then the height, or will I say the thickness of your pen, whichever one you prefer, should be 2.5 feet at least. That's a favorable amount to use. So in the intensive space, you're controlling the feeding, the watering, who is coming into your farm, who is leaving your farm, how many snails, how you hatch. You literally monitor everything. And I had a very humbling experience. It's not that good with a farmer. He was topping the charts when it comes to getting babies. He had over 6,000 babies. And for some reason, people don't understand structure. I don't know. He started with 300 breeders, got up to 6,000 breeders, and that's a very common occurrence in agrocycle. But if you don't understand structure, structure means that if you're not there, the livestock should continue. Everything should continue if you're not there. Like, things should run without you. But this man did not have structure. So an unfortunate incident happened. He left his farm for a burial of a relative, uncared for. I didn't know what he was imagining. Okay, this is the story he told me. He thought, since in the dry seasons the snails hibernate because nobody's feeding them, it means that if he leaves them, they would hibernate as well. Now, unfortunately for him, if snails don't store a lot of food in their system before they hibernate, they will eventually die. And that was what happened to his farm. He lost over, I think he told me that he had just 500 snails left, and he was very frustrated, down, and didn't know what to do. I didn't even know the better way to console him. So we just helped him, and we are still working on the farm, getting it to grow. But on the flip side, the semi-intensive system or the free range snail farming allows snails to roam in controlled outdoor environments. It combines natural foraging with supplemental feeding, providing a balance between natural behaviors and controlled management. Okay? So now, let's think about it this way. Do you think the same thing would have happened if it was a free range? No, it wouldn't have necessarily happened to that extent, because they would have had fruits to eat, they would have had vegetables to munch on while the man was away. They would have been eating one or two things, grasses, name it. They had a lot of things to eat in the free range. Does it mean the free range is better than the intensive system? No. It's just boils down to the nature. What do you want? Are you someone who is too occupied? You don't have time to come down and go for free range. So choose choose what you're most susceptible to. Okay, now what are the basic requirements for snail farming? Now the very most important, literally the most important requirement is proper training. Okay, proper training in the snail farming process. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. No, like, just take this video, be serious with it, listen to it over and over and over and over again. You would know how to manage your farm. Forget it. So you need proper training. Remember in the beginning of this video I talked about YouTube trainings. I said they are very important, but they are fragmented. You don't know which one comes first, know which one comes second, when should you do this, to what range should you do this. So you're doing trial and error. And guess what? People come to us and say, oh, AgroCycle, I've gotten training, I want you to supply us breeders. Sincerely, we turn it down, because that is just a suicide. It's a suicide waiting to happen, because you don't know if the person that trained him is skilled. You don't even know if he got the real training. Could it be investing time on YouTube videos online that has given him the result that he wanted? You are not certain yet. And all of a sudden you come to us, okay, if we supply you your snails, how do we track to know if you're doing well? How do we make posts? Oh, our farmer is doing this, or the farmer is doing that. How do we say, oh, he didn't buy from us? Okay, so training is very important. So when you come to me, I tell you, bro, you have to go and do a training. Go for training. Simple. Go for training. You can leverage the AgroCycle training, or you can use another farmer's training. See, if we train you, one thing I know is we are not just training you. You stick to the community. We absorb you. Okay. We have the community of practicing farmers. It's like a sponge. We absorb farmers. Our students call it the community of progressive farmers. If you check, you will see their posts regularly. Just check. They belong to most groups. They call them the community of progressive farmers. We absorb you. So what I'm saying in essence is training is very, 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 very important. Now the next thing that will hurt you if you don't do it well is appropriate housing. Now think of it. Where you house your snails matters very, very much. It matters more than anything, because snails have a very high tendency of having what we call dry out. Now, what is dry out? Dry out is when the snail is losing more water than is absorbing from the soil. Okay? Yes. Okay, so most of us think farmers will tell you, oh, put water for your snails. Put water for your snails. Let them be able to drink. Oh, okay, all that. In reality, snails don't drink water like birds. They go and they start putting their mouth on the tap or something and water starts. No. Or they know where the tray is. No. What they do is that they absorb water from their skin. Hence the reason why we encourage farmers, after cleaning your pen, removing the leftovers, sprinkle a reasonable amount of water on the soil. Okay? They absorb water from their skin. Yes. So when it gets to a point where they are now losing water from their skin because the environment is harsh and the pen was poorly constructed to hold back evaporization or water loss, it becomes a big problem for you. And many people wouldn't tell you this. Okay? So if you can prevent dry outs in your pen, perfect. Okay? Now the next thing we'll talk about is soil suitability. Soil suitability. Do you have the suitable soil? You need to have the perfect soil. Now, what's the best soil for snail farming? It's definitely loamy soil. Why? Because it has the ability to hold water. It has the ability to prevent water from draining out from it so fast, and it has the ability to prevent dry out. That's just it. Because snails need water. They need a humid environment, and so loamy soil can hold water. Okay? Now, people talk about sterilization of soil, and during my experience of teaching farmers, I've learned something. Someone asked me a question: how do you sterilize a free-range farm? And I told them, see, we don't sterilize a free-range farm. And I have my reservation as regarding sterilization. People have been taught a lot of things, so they won't change. And I'm telling you to your face, a lot of people won't change. No matter what you do, they won't change. So we allow them do what they want to do. Okay, they let them do what they want to do. If you want to treat your soil, burn it, bake it, whatever you want to do. But for us at AgroCycle, with our years of experience, we leave it to you to make a decision. To me, it has no single effect on the snails. Bake your soil or you don't bake it. Those are certain excuses that some inexperienced tutors will tell you. Oh, why are your snails dying? It's because you not bake your soil. Really? It doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't work. Okay? Your snails will die regardless. In fact, there are only 3 things you have to do to make your farm work. Just 3 things. Now we're talking about the requirements. Let me tell you, they're just 3 things. 3 things. First of all, you feed them well. Second, you clean well. And lastly, you monitor them regularly. Simple. Let me come again. First thing, you feed them well. The next thing, you clean well. And the final thing is you monitor. If you do these 3 things over and over again, you will become a profitable farmer. That's it. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is dieting. There is what we call the 1-to-1 feeding regimen, and that's the process we use in our in the community, okay, in training. So the 1-to-1 feeding regimen. So let's say Monday you're going to feed them fruits, Tuesday you're going to give them feed, Wednesday feed, Thursday you're going to give them vegetables, and those vegetables serve as detoxifiers, and you run the cycle again. So it's not like your feeding timetable. So if you follow that, that's it. The vegetables that you're likely going to be fed will be taught to you in the community of practicing farmers or during the intensive training. What? Okay, so just feed your snails well. Now, calcium supplements is very, very, very important. Why? Because they are forming shells. They need calcium supplements. So whatever you're feeding them, you're going to be sprinkling calcium. If you're giving them fruits, you're going to be sprinkling calcium. If you're giving them feeds, you're going to be sprinkling calcium. If you're giving them vegetables, you're going to be sprinkling calcium. So it becomes a part of your life. Now, the next thing you would think about is patience, commitment, and determination. There will be times when you'll be putting in the work and you've been seeing the results. I'm like, when I mean you're not seeing the results, it's just like babies growing with you. You don't know that they are growing, but all of a sudden you wake up and your son has graduated from the university. That's the way it is. It's just the patient. Just be patient. It's not a get-rich-quick program. It takes a lot of patience. Okay, so facts about snail farming business for beginners. Okay, snail farming is extremely profitable. Yes, it is very, very, very profitable, especially if you're in the business of producing snails and adding value. It is very, very profitable for you. Just that you have to go through certain processes. First of all, you have to go through the process of learning how, very important, how to raise good snails and big snails. And you need to learn how to make a lot of noise so that people know that you exist. Those are the 2 things holding you back. Okay? You need to make a lot of noise to know that people, to let you be, like I said, if we didn't put ourselves out there for people to speak about us, for people to converse, make comments, some joined, some didn't join. Oh, they stayed in the group, you stayed in the group, we kept on sharing information on the group. How would you have known that we existed? Clearly, you wouldn't have known. But for some reason, you want to buy snails, not you. I know you're different. Okay. People want to buy snails and stay in the dark, and the snails will promote themselves, and that's it. Okay, so once you've gone past that phase, snail farming is really, really profitable. It's really, really profitable. That's what we call shelving. Now, shelving is a process whereby you get a shelf, you put the products you want to put, and when the company, take example as Costco, when the companies place their order, when individuals buy from them, they take taxes. They take their taxes and they give you the money. And this is done in UK. So you can export to UK. I think a pound is about, I think the minimum you can get is about £3. So you can imagine in an African store. So if you check outlets or eateries like a niche outside the country, it's way more expensive. Okay? So it's way more expensive. I'm trying to see if I can give you everything. I don't want you to take too much time on this video. Okay? So yeah, for beginners, the fact is that you have a lot of money to make. The question is, are you willing to commit? If you make the mistake and I enter slime production, forget it. Your money. Slime And you have a good number of snails. Slime production, you can produce over 6 liters of slimes every, or 10 liters of slime every week. Yes, because with the right machines, you are producing them, you're feeding your snails well. It's the process is amazing, okay? And is relatively capital intensive. That's just the truth. So I would love you to know that it is capital intensive. I said it earlier. It is not something you want to do. Oh, I see people. I think we posted a video of people doing their snails in containers and all that. And well, it is somehow, it's not good to cast people away. That's just the truth. If you see someone who has passion for something, let them thrive. But ideally, you should build a proper pen. Go ahead and explore the market. Okay, you can do snail farming as a side hustle and part-time business. That's just the truth. You can do it as a side hustle and part-time business, because you just have to feed them once a day, and you have to put only 1 hour of work daily, like literally daily. Come back from work in the evening, wash your snails, clean the place, sprinkle water, feed them, remove leftover food, sprinkle water again, mulch properly, and your farm is good to go. Literally good to go. Okay, so unlike other livestock, to export snails require little to no registration. Like in the community of practicing farmers, you heard me mentioning community of practicing farmers. I know you're almost tired, but please bear with me. It's everything. Like, that's where on Saturdays we have the marketplace, and farmers get to sell their products. So it's not a childish community, it's not a small community, it's a big community of people who are exporting and importing snails. So I would advise you be part of it. Okay, now there are majorly 3 types of snail breeds that I would want to talk about. There is the Achatina achatina. The Achatina achatina is the Ghana tiger snails. Okay, so you find them in Ghana, and they lay averagely 200 eggs per cluster. They don't do well in Nigeria, and they really don't do well. That's just my challenge. They really don't do well. So my best advice would be probably avoid them, or don't even get in the mix. Okay, so I have heard people say AA. I don't really even encourage you to buy AA. So personally, we stay away from procuring AA. The next one we'll be talking about is the Fulika. Now the Fulika is the Oga of slime production. Okay, so it has pointed tip. It can lay close to 200 to 500 eggs per clutch. Okay, per clutch, yes. So they are very, very explosive. If you buy them, they can give you large number of eggs in a short period of time. And the last one I'll be talking about, and where I want to dwell on, is the Achatina marginata. Okay, so this one is the ones that we have in that's our own snails. Okay, the biggest snails in West Africa, almost the whole world. Yes, they are Achatina marginata. Yep, they don't lay a crazy amount of eggs, within 40 to 60 eggs, per cycle. But trust me, they grow very fast, and their snails grow very big. And because they grow very big, they give you the most return on your investment. Now, there are 2 types of them. There are 2 subgroups that I call the AMO and the AMS. Now, the AMO has a whitish tip. Okay, so instead of pink, they are more whitish in nature. Okay, and they lay more eggs. They give you more eggs. The egg production is relatively high, and the babies grow very fast. When I mean very fast, they grow big and very fast. Personally, for me, this is what I do. Now, AMS, I had a very ugly experience with AMS. I started my farm with AMS, and unfortunately I lost all my AMS, 2,000 of them. Does it mean the snails is bad? No, it just means I was a very poor farmer, and I was ill trained. Of course, I've shared my story, so you would know better. But they lay a lot of eggs. Their babies take longer to grow as compared to the AMO. But all of them, depending on what you want to achieve, they will serve their purposes. Okay, so ways to earn in snail farming. What are the ways to earn in snail farming? Let's talk about it. What are the ways to earn in snail farming business? Okay, so assuming you have a farm, your farm is now matured. Well, how do I start earning? First of all, you can sell at point of lay, but you cannot sell if nobody knows about your business. So please, while you're producing snails, let someone know that you are producing snails. How do you do it? You post videos regularly. You talk about your farming gatherings. Before you know it, you have people who are interested in joining what you want to do. And guess what? You are selling. Snail farming is still at the infancy stage. We've not gotten to a point where, okay, I can stay and decide I want to keep my birds and nobody will know about it. And for some reason, there is a market that is already established where you can go and sell your birds. We have not gotten to that stage. So please let people know that you have snails, okay? Now, you can also sell them at table size to market women and vendors. Yes, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Crush it with that, okay? Now, the next thing is selling directly to retailers. Who are retailers? People that buy in large quantity for exportation. Yes, you can do that with AgroCycle community. You can do that. Okay, so what we do every Saturday, people who have snails come there. We sell to our friends in diaspora. They exchange, and that is it. Okay, so you can supply jumbo size snails to chains abroad. Okay, now the first phase is you can now produce in your farm and sell. The next phase is, as a retailer, you can now buy from people who produce, then you sell them abroad if you have the connection. How do you get the connection? Make noise, run ads, make people know that you have this. Talk to your friends abroad, talk to your church members, talk to your social clubs, talk to your groups. I have this, can you connect me? Reach out to people, and that is how you sell it. The market is available, not well structured, but people need it. Okay, yes, you can sell the slime to cosmetic companies. How do you reach out to cosmetic companies? Run ads, look at the heads of the companies, send them a message, look at LinkedIn, be on LinkedIn. There's one LinkedIn option, LinkedIn Pro. High profile people, you can send them messages and they will prioritize your own. What do you know? It's easy. Like, everything just boils down to how much of an effort can you put into it. That's really it. Every business sells. Every business sells. It depends on how much of an effort you can put into it. Like, you can hear the passion in my voice, okay? You know I understand this and I know that it works, okay? So you can sell washed or dried snails locally and internationally. Yes, that one is easy. People who are traveling out of the country, especially I have a friend. I have a friend. Would I say farmer, and he reaches out to people at the airport. Yes, at the airport, and makes proposal for them to buy snails or either. Before you know it, I think it started like joke, and now she has a good amount of connection. And thank God for the community of practicing farmers where you have continuous streams of farmers. Then you can formulate your own feed. If you formulate your own feed, you have learned a skill that can feed you for life. Do you know how? Once you have the feed formula and you're formulating your own feed, the only thing is, do you know how to make noise and know people and tell people that you can formulate feed? And guess what? You're good. Now, a bonus tip is that you can organize training like this ones and sell to newbie farmer, teach them and charge a premium for it. Okay. Yes, I want to talk about the 5 days mentorship training. Okay. So the 5 days mentorship training is basically where we understand that you can't just learn everything in snail farming in just 4 days. Yes, you can. Like I said, within the next 15 minutes, you should be able to manage your farm. But can you really do what is required? Can you really do everything by just this training? There are a lot of things to be taught. Okay. So the 5 days intensive mentorship training is where we take you through the nitty-gritty of snail farming, teach you every single thing you need to know, guide you on our processes, guide you on our frameworks, what you need to do. Remember I talked about the one-to-one feeding regimen. How does it work? There are so many things. Snail farming is very, very easy, but guess what? You need to know what you're doing. Okay, so how to start a snail farming business? Now, very important. How do I start? Because that's the question that people asked. Always send us. How do we start? We have joined your group. How do we start? Remember, so many people are asking, how do we start? Now, the first step is get trained. Simple. Get trained. No matter anyhow you want to get the training, get it. Simple. Even if it means YouTube, get it. As long as you want to do snail farming, get trained. The fact that you are even in this training is they even gotten to this point is a testament to your ability to learn. Yes, it's a testament to your ability to learn. So I give it to you. Get training. It's very important. You can't do without training. You need training to manage your snails. You need training to literally, even down to feeding them. How do I take care of my babies? How do I hatch my eggs? How do I prepare my farm for, make it ready and comfortable, cozy enough for the snails to bury their eggs and get it to maturity? Those questions are very important. Okay, now set money aside for your farm. Okay, set some money aside for your farm. That's just, you can't even debate too much. Don't be carried away to the point where you invest all your money that you don't have money to at least buy feed or for formulate your own feed after you've made your initial purchase, or you start getting, there's a secret that I've learned. The moment you have money set aside, you're less pressured to take such certain unnecessary action. Take for example, if you have set some money aside that will cushion the effect of your farm, you wouldn't have to rush around when trying to buy feed, or when you go to the market. You can easily procure products, or you just see watermelon or fruits you can buy in large quantity. You know what I'm saying? So just put money aside. Now build the appropriate housing. Like I said, it is very easy. We have a framework for building houses in AgroCycle, and we'll be teaching that in the 5 days intensive training. So you don't really have to do much. All you just have to do is look at this framework, bring it to an artisan, because it's tailored for the artisan to understand it. You can see the pictures that we have here. These are just simple pens if you're doing the temporal intensive system, because all of them that can be broken down and taken into bits and taken apart. Okay, so if possible, if you're doing an extensive system, install a humidifier or sprinkler. I sent a video of a sprinkler a few days ago to our page, so if you're not following us, go there and follow it. Okay, you see sprinklers, humidifiers, install them, especially if you're doing free range. Okay, secure the suitable soil. Now, the question of suitable soil is usually if you don't have the right soil in extensive, you already have a problem for the word get go. So when I talk about secure stable soil, I'm talking about the intensive system where you can still make some changes and go to gardeners and tell them, okay, I'm looking for loamy soil, please get me loamy soil, and they will do that. Now, soil treatment and sterilization, I shared my mindset already on it. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, forget it. I don't have anything against it. Now, the next thing I'll be talking about is getting mulching material. Now, this is for dry season. Or if you're the part of the country where it's a bit dried, then that's an option for you. Your mulching material, we've noticed that in big cities that plantain leaves are not available. So prior to this point, it was all plantain leaves, do plantain leaves, only plantain leaves, just stick to plantain leaves. That's what we were talking about. But guess what? Now you can now use Gary sacks. So soak your Gary sack in water. Okay, soak your Gary sack in water, fling it a bit. It shouldn't be too dried, it shouldn't be too wet, just having the right moist content, and you can use it to note, do not place it on top of your snails. You need to put some support. What are supports? Maybe like put sticks in your pen. There are videos that we've posted already, you can watch them. Put sticks in your pen, then cover it. Okay, now the next thing will be installing your feeding rack. Then the final thing will be preparing your pen for stocking. Yes, prepare your pen for stocking. Very, very important. Prepare your pen for stocking. Now, lastly, buy your breeders. Remember how I said it? You don't just walk from the beginning and come here and say you want to buy breeders. No, you have to go through all these processes, please. Lastly, get your formulated feed, or better still, formulate your own feed and get your calcium supplement. Lastly, start learning marketing, please. Okay, now quickly let me introduce you to this part of the training. I believe by now you must have learned everything you need to know. Like, you should be ready. If you stop here, you can manage a farm comfortably. You can manage a farm. Okay, if you stop here, you can manage a farm. So don't overthink it. If you stop at this point, you can literally manage a farm. Okay, but if you want, we go the extra mile. We don't just teach you snail farming and leave you. Okay, go and practice. Well, it is not bad. Some farmers will just teach you because you pay them to teach you, and of course you can just go and practice. Yes, they've taught you, they have done their part. They don't owe you anything. But no, we are building a community for farmers where people can literally say, oh, I am from AgroCycle. and they will employ you automatically because they know you are well trained. That's the level that we are getting to. So the community of practicing farmers is where we turn normal and ordinary farmers to high value farmers. Why? Because we give them the right association. We have a lot of farmers who are in diaspora that have people they trained locally that manage their farms for them. Some of people who are into exportation. So that is the beauty of the community of practicing farm. So even if you don't have a farm, or you don't have a farmer yet, or you've not become a farmer yet, you can leverage that community to start buying and selling your snails. Okay? Now, what about the community of practice farmers? Well, what do you even benefit, okay, from being part of the community of practicing farmers? Or, that's not the right way to phrase it, okay? Because first of all, the community of practicing farmers is just one of the benefits you get when you go through the 5 days intensive training. But let me just break it down. It means when you once you are in the community of practicing farmers, you are already entitled to a lifetime of mentorship, like with us. Whenever you want to start your snail farming journey, all you just have to do is present your certificate, because you're issued a certificate immediately after your training. Present your certificate and you're okay. You get access to our physical training automatically. There's what we call the outsourced training, and it costs about 40,000 naira. It requires that the farmer that is going to be training you splits the money, so 20 goes to the company and 20 goes to the farmer. But this time around, because you're part of the community of practicing farmers, we attach you directly to the farmer, and out of goodwill, the person is willing to train you. Okay, so lastly, you become eligible for also getting money from the outsourced training. Okay, you become eligible for getting money from the outsourced training. And how does this work? It means that if you have gotten to the point where you are now able to harvest your farm, grow your farm, harvest some snails, people definitely want to learn from you, because in AgroCycle community, every Sunday we hold trainings. We hold advanced trainings where experienced farmers come and share their experiences. You can find some of the episodes on Telegram, on our free channel on Telegram. Most of the episodes are there. You can find them there. Okay. Now, you also get the opportunity, if you've grown to a point where we can send farmers to you, means you also earn money from there. So within a very short time, you've recovered everything, more than you could ever imagine. So then again, if you are part of the community of practicing farmers, it means you are entitled to our 2 weeks insured policy. Okay, 2 weeks insured snail breeders policy. What does it mean? It means that within the first 2 weeks of you having your snails, if you lose more than 20% of your snails, what happens? You'll be replaced. All farmers have losses. No matter who you are, you will lose your snails. No matter who you are. No matter who you are, I lose snails. Even up to today, you'll find some dead. But when the number of babies being produced exceeds way less than the number of the rate at which the snails are dying, it becomes a problem. Okay, so we provide you opportunities to participate in group exportation. Yes, so on the platform, we help you make secured payments. We help you facilitate the process of purchasing from farmers and selling across. Okay. And lastly, we also provide you with a regular sales and marketing, because we understand if you don't make noise, you will not make money. So we hammer it. We do sales and marketing training. In as much as we are providing a platform to buy and sell, we still train you. Okay? Yes. So which class of people can join the community of practicing farmers? Literally anybody can join the community of practicing farmers. Stay at home mom and dads, businessmen/women, retired. Okay, so any group, if you want to make money, come and join. You can see them. Okay, now let's talk about certain testimonials that we've had in AgroCycle. Now, one thing about AgroCycle is prior to this point, we weren't so keen on the social media thing until we discovered that if nobody knows you, nobody will buy from you. So let's hear what some people who have gotten snails from us think. Okay, one says, my order landed at 248 hours today. What does that mean? Okay, so I cleaned them up with neat water. They were happy, they drank water, and they refreshed themselves. And I put them into the pen, then sprinkled water by the instruction of our teacher, Mr. Rexford Emmanuel. Of course, yes, me. Okay, so this is how the farm looks like. I think that was a picture he attached there, so you can see it is not hearsay. It is not a issue of you ordered something different and we gave you another thing, or you ordered and you did not get your money. Or once you can go through the training and you are proving yourself to be an efficient and prolific farmer and good, build your pen, and it has been approved by the farmer who you're attached to, then go ahead. The next one says, boom, after 3 weeks the eggs started hatching and the babies coming out. I felt like a father that have successfully created life. Like, for most people, do you know, the money is not even the problem. It is the feeling of creating something unique, creating life, that makes the difference. Okay, the feeling of, oh wow, I'm able to do this. That's what makes the difference. Now it says, this is my 1 month and 2 weeks, and I've had 785 eggs. This testimony is a bit old now. It's a bit old. If you see this guy now, okay, so, and he currently has 131 babies. You can imagine. Okay, so the next one says, hello everyone. I'm reporting on behalf of Jemigro Farm Mbise. For those of us in the East who know Mbise, we have successfully stocked 79 AMO breeders on the 26th of April 2023. Furthermore, we have successfully had 117 eggs, on which 27 babies have hatched. Imagine, this is 3rd of May 2023. So these testimonials are way, 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 way behind. Imagine, this is 1 year ago. Imagine what the farmer is doing now. Okay, so it keeps going, and I think this one says, to God alone be the glory. My snails have arrived and they are cooling in their pen. The first sect actually arrived on the 1st of March, but due to stress and other things, I didn't know much, and they died before reaching me. Okay, over 70 of them died before reaching her. In other words, she had no impact. She had nothing to contribute to death. I think it will be from maybe the logistics team, the logistic company issue, where there is this challenge that we usually have, where drivers can't handle the packages very well, and it's almost everywhere. You can't help it. Okay, so what eventually happens is that by the end of the day, you lose money. And guess what we did? Okay, the good news is that when I told our coach, Mr. Emmanuel, okay, he gave me words of encouragement and asked me not to worry myself. Like play. Yesterday, he called me and said I should expect my snails soon. Just like miracles, all my dead snails were replaced. I'm overwhelmed with joy. Can you imagine that? Replaced. Well, of course, why won't we replace it? Okay? Please, my brothers and sisters, help and thank our coach and the people behind the scene who made this possible. May God of heaven bless you people abundantly without measure. So that's the report. You can read through it and it keeps going. Just pause and read. Okay? So what do you need to succeed as a snail farmer? Like I said, you need patience. Very much. You need patience. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's pure business. And you have to be willing to do everything that is required of you. Okay? So what will you be learning from the class? Now, which class are we talking about? You're talking about the 5 days intensive training. What are you going to be learning? First of all, you're going to be learning, getting introduced to snail farming properly, afresh, not in a rush like this. We're trying to meet up and make sure that we don't take too much of your time. Okay? You learn how to construct your pen using our framework such that you can a whole lot of things. Okay, so let's talk about soil treatment. That's if you want to, you can go ahead and do your soil treatment. We talk about pen preparation. We talk about egg incubating. We talk about caring for your babies. We talk about prey and predators, and we teach you how to start on a budget. Okay, so let's take it easy. Now, there's what we call the fail-proof pen construction system, or the framework. Now, this is how we help you construct your pen. So you don't really need somebody to come to your pen and do this one. Do you have an artisan? Can you use a hammer? Can you use nails? Can you take measurements? Do you have wood? you have constructed your pen by yourself. Okay, so that saves you thousands of on pen construction, helps you construct durable pen, even if you are living in a rented apartment. Of course, you can use a rented apartment, okay? And it's valued at 20,000 naira, which will save you money from unreliable artisan. That's exactly the amount you pay an artisan for constructing your pen, about 20,000 naira. So if you can do this, take the framework, you have saved money. Now we'll help you with the healthy breeder identification test. So how any farmer, so take for example, you're going to the market and you want to buy from the market, you don't want to buy from a farmer, or you don't want to use agrocycle services, you want to buy from other farmers. With this training, you will be able to identify healthy breeders. So let's assume that you buy from the market at the rate of 350 and you buy 100. If they are wrong breeds, of course you will take care of them, but over time they will die off. So we would have saved you 35,000 naira. Okay, so we would have saved you over 35,000 naira on losses. Now if you buy from a proper procurement company which sell at relatively 600 or 500, so give or take, you buy 200 at 500 each, so that's 100,000 naira. So that is what we'll be saving for you by taking this training. Okay, so if I tell you that what you're going to be learning is valued at 100,000, I'm not wrong. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. There's what we call growth stimulating feed formula. Yes, people have even talked about the egg booster and what you give them for them to lay more eggs. But I'm here to tell you something. If you feed your snails well, there is no need for an egg booster. Okay, so the feed formula will be providing for you alongside with the meal planner would help you adjust to the needs of your snails at different levels of their development. Okay, it composes of locally sourced ingredients which can be found in your locality. So you don't have to go and break your bank. What can you find in your locality? Put them together and we will prepare a feed for you. Like literally, put it together and you already have a feed all prepared. Now, a bag of feed costs how much? It costs about, give or take, 16,000 naira. We are looking at, you buy 2 bags. So if you keep buying this thing over a very long period of time, for a period of 1 year, you might buy 4 bags. So we are literally going to be saving you almost 30,000 naira in feed production by you producing your own feed by yourself. And it doesn't stop there. You can really sell those feed and start reselling them and making money from it. So think about the value that you'll be getting. Okay, the next thing we'll be talking about is thought-free pen maintenance guide. How do I maintain my pen without stressing too much? How do I clean my pen so fast that it takes me not more than 1 hour? This thing is not hard. You just need 1 hour to do 3 things: feed well, clean well, and monitor. Okay, so this process will be teaching you how do you preserve your pen from just decaying. Now, if you use wood, you'll be sprinkling water almost all the time. So what will you be showing you that will help you preserve your pen longer? This will cost you almost 45,000 naira in pen replacement, and that is what we are willing to save you. Just be calculating on the money that we are planning on saving you. Okay, the advanced incubation system, that one you can't even with our incubation system. I sent a video to the group. Okay, so check your group if you've not seen it. I showed you how one of our farmers was just incubating his eggs and all those things, but I've not shown you the advanced incubation. I've not shown you the soil test. I've not shown you a lot of things. So this system will ensure that you have almost 80% hatch rate. And if I tell you it's worth 30,000 naira, it will be like it's not worth it. Like it's too cheap at 30,000 naira, because snails can give you crazy number of eggs, but if you don't know how to incubate them, then you have a problem. You have a big problem. Okay, yeah, you have a big problem. So we'll be saving you, give or take, 250,000 naira worth of in snails, like snails that would have wasted. Maybe those you didn't see. What happens is maybe you don't have the right water content and your soil becomes packed, and the snails, they get to maturity and they can't come out and you're losing babies. Okay, those are conditions. Then the last one is hungry marketing. Now keep shouting the marketing. If people don't know you, they would not buy from you. Okay, yes. So what are the bonuses that we give? Personalized pen construction, measurements, and quotations, access to a community of practicing farmers, physical training for interested farmers. Okay, so after this, now you don't want to do online training, you want to see a farmer of your own. Yes, we attach it to the farmer who is already practicing. You go and learn from them. 12 weeks mortality, I think that's 2 weeks mortality in short breeding stock. So if you lose your snails for the first 2 weeks, they are replaced. The next thing we'll be talking about is pen maintenance checklist. We give you a checklist of how to maintain your pen. Okay, then the growth boosters, the one-to-one feeding regimen. I already talked about it. If you're smart enough, you can pick it up. Okay, then I talked about contacts to tested exportation agencies. So if you want to export, you have access to what we use in the community of practicing farmers. Egg viability test guide. Okay, how do you test your snails? Okay, so those things are looking at, that's what you should be. How do I test for the viability of the snails? Then 5 minutes pen maintenance hack. How do I clean my pen very fast such that I don't spend more than 1 hour? Then breeding stock stabilization. When I get my snails, what do I do to make sure that they don't keep dying out of stress and stabilize them? Then look at your productivity tracker. Okay, now here's the whole thing. So So now think of it. The worth of this training is over 200,000. Think about the money that we've been saving you. Okay, that just think about the money that we've been saving you, all the money that we've been saving you. So if I told you that the worth of this training is 200,000, it's not even bad. Okay, because eventually you'll be making more. Imagine exporting your snails. How much should you make? But guess what? We're not going to do it for that. Even if we decide to give it at the rate of 100,000 naira, it will be worth it. No doubt, it's worth more than that. But for me, it's not a one-on-one. Of course, one-on-one is more expensive than one-to-many. And what we are doing here is one-to-many. We are taking as many farmers as possible and training them. So if it was one-on-one, we charge you 100,000. But this one, no, we wouldn't charge you. Okay, and you won't even be paying 40,000 naira. Remember about the outsourced physical training that I talked about, where you pay the farmer 20,000 naira and we take 20,000 naira, provide you with all the resources that you need, and you learn from the farmer directly on the weekend. That's the outsourced training. You'll be paying just 40,000 naira for that. Okay, but for this training, no, you won't be paying that. Okay, here's what we would do. Okay, only for the first 25 persons that will take up this offer right now, only for the first 25 persons that will key into it, only for the first 25 persons, listen to me, only for the first 25 persons, we will be giving this course for a meager amount of 20,000 naira with all the benefits included. The study materials, the community of practicing farmers, access to people who can help you export, access to your training, and all that. Okay, so you have access to your mentorship. So if you're interested in the mentorship program that will guarantee you that you start your snail farming business on a budget, now go ahead and pay into the company's account. AgroCycle Company, Money Point Microfinance. So gradually, I'll mention the account number now. So listen again. The account name is AgroCycle Company, Money Point Microfinance, and the account number is 8280339143. I'll come again. 8280339143, and the amount is just 20,000 naira. So send the proof of your payment to the number below, or you can send it to your group. Now, you might ask me, "Oh, Mr. Rex, this thing is too expensive." And I get it a lot. It's too expensive, yes. Would you prefer you stay the way you are and not invest money in something that would make a difference in your life? Okay, so would you, because of the current cost of the product, and delay the results? No, just think about it. Oh, then you might think, "Oh, Mr. Rexford, I got another one that is way cheaper." If the one that you got that was way cheaper was really good, why do you need another training? Like literally, why do you need another training? You don't need another training. So we are not just training you, we are absorbing you. We are taking you by the hand and showing you snail farming. This is how it is done. This is how to make noise. Remember, I talked about marketing. This is how to market. We are showing you this is how to market. If you do it, you will have the result. So, see you in the group.